Yo, there's a shout out to Miss Ritter, Mr. Godfrey, English rap. Here we go. Brandon Morgan, Tyler Palmieri. Who the flies? Life can be real good, and sometimes it makes you wonder how we keep from going under. If there's no law and order at times, it makes you wonder how people don't become savages. Yo, here we go. Young boys everywhere. Piggy meets Ralph and tells him to build a conch shell. Here come the boys, cause they hear the noise. Ralph makes them work together cause they got no choice. Another boy, Jack, tries to lead the pack. Ralph is the main man, Jack is in the back. Three boys in the jungle and biggest stage of the pack. Ralph and Jack and Simon find out they're all alone. Jack tries to kill a pig but he doesn't get far. Numbers will be shown next time.
Ralph takes leadership and holds a meeting. Don't be speaking unless you have the conch. Then the kid with the birthmark says beware, because there's a beastie out there that likes rough ideas but wants to be a savage and just hunt animals everywhere. Then Piggy, who's the smart one, says no one knows we're here. And since the boys know the Piggy's not a liar, Ralph decides to make a signal fire. So Ralph uses Piggy's glasses that represent intelligence. But the fire spreads loose, it takes out some trees. And this angers Piggy, who gets up and screams. Piggy says that he's proficient and immature because all Jack wants to do is just kill a boy. Then Piggy realizes that the boy with the birthmark's gone missing, but all the boys pretend they don't care. And the more and more time boys have away from adults, the more and more they become less civilized.
Jack's being savage and tries to kill a pig. Though he's no success, even with his hunters, and upon Jack's return, he sees Ralph, the leader, building shelters on the beach, and alongside Ralph, helping with the shelters is Simon, who represents Christ, since he's the only child who would rather help Ralph than play silly games and use his stubborn skills to get the shelters done, because no one wants to help build the huts with Ralph and Simon, although they seem so excited with all the new ideas. Then Ralph gets angry and calls out Jack. But Jack doesn't care, the little boys had a scare. All that Jack cares about is fulfilling his will to kill. And the little ones believe the beastie is somewhere. Then the tension increases between Jack and Ralph, and the group won't be surprised if one of them attacks. Then Simon walks through the jungle all alone and even helps the little ones pick some fruit. Then Simon sits alone and enjoys the scenery. All of these things represent Simon as Christ, since he's helped the little ones something others would never do, and even helped Ralph build the shelters too.
All the mornings on the island are quite fine. The little ones are playing, bathing, and eating fruit. But don't eat too much, or you can get some dangerous diarrhea. The little ones are having some bad dreams that see mirages in the water. Piggy lets the kids know that it's all in the heads. And then came Roger and Maurice, stomping and counters and throwing stones. But not even Roger dares to throw the stones directly at the little one. For law and order and right and wrong came rush right into Roger's head as he remembered the old life. To even know the kids act savage and wrong, law and order still exists inside all their minds. Jack still wants to kill and goes in the jungle to try and hunt a pig. But he doesn't go alone and brings in some backup. And then Ralph and Piggy realize that there's a ship on the horizon. But wait, who's watching the signal fire? This angers Ralph and Piggy, since they had just lost their chance of rescue. It was a hunter's responsibility, but they were too distracted by Jack and his temptation of fulfilling their inner savagery. Jack didn't care about getting off the island. Now the hunters come back with their leader, Jack, holding dead pig carcass high above their heads with a long stake driven right through its heart. Boys acting crazy, bloodthirsty and hungry. Then Jack smacks Piggy because he tells Jack of all his immaturity. And this slap ends up breaking lenses of intelligence, but Jack admits he's wrong about the signal fire, but not for hitting Piggy. Then they use the lenses to light the signal fire once more. Boys click the pig and dance around like insane savages. Then Ralph walks to the beach all alone and says it's time for an assembly. And the struggle for power continues on the island.
Ralph blows the conch to call an assembly. Once all the boys gather on the beach, Ralph begins to berate for not living by the rules, especially about the signal fire. And the little ones are still scared of the beastie, but Ralph, Piggy, and even Jack say there's no monster anywhere. However, one of the little ones say he saw a beast. And as quick as this assembly began, the meeting becomes chaos, and the boys become frightened. Then Jack explains that he will hunt the beast, since he is the boy with insatiable desire for violence. Everyone but the good ones follow Jack as he manipulates all of the others with fear. Simon, Ralph, and Piggy stay on the beach. Piggy wants Ralph to summon the boys back with the conch. But Ralph is scared. Order will disappear if he blows it. No one shows up, but Ralph wants to resign. But Simon and Piggy say that won't be a good sign, and in the distance is the sound of another little one crying on the beach.
The leader, Ralph, and Christ Simon lead and help the little one back to shelter before some shut-eye. Sam and Eric were supposed to be watching the signal fire, but was snoozing instead. Since Sam and Eric had lost their personality and represented mindless mentality. And while all the boys were sleeping in their shelters, a dogfight raged about high in the sky. And this is a message from the adult world today, that there is just as much evil and savagery that lies within them, and that they are not as perfect as the children make them out to be. A parachutist from the sky gets shot down and lands in the trees. Sam and Eric tend to the fire and see the parachutist's corpse. They think it's the beast, then they go to wake Ralph, so he calls another assembly. Sam and Eric tell the story to the group, finishing each other's sense and showing that they're just one mindless entity. They all believe it's the beast because they are frightened by what Jack has said. So they go out on to hunt and kill the beast. Piggy and the little ones remain behind as Ralph lets Jack lead the hunt. Ralph crosses the rock bridge and investigates alone, but Ralph wasn't scared when he was now with the other boys. Jack joins him and their friendship starts to build up, and then Ralph tells the boys to go build the shelters.
The boys are undisciplined, and Ralph notices this as he watches the water, and the water is a roadblock blocking the return home. But Simon lets Ralph know that he'll go back to the old life. This again reinforces Simon's role as Christ, as he is prophet who prophesies Ralph's return home. But Simon doesn't say that he'll make it home too. Now Jack's bloodthirsty savage mindset leads him to want to kill another pig. Ralph even starts becoming savage too as they hunt down this boar, but the boar escapes after a wild goose chase. And the boys' savage instincts start to kick in as they play with this wild game, pretending to kill the boar. The boar's poor Robert, who almost gets killed. Now their savage instincts are kicking in. And Jack makes a joke that next time they play this terrible game, these will run instead of a boar. Then Ralph proposes that they wait until morning to be scaling all the mountains, but Ralph goes with the hunters to maintain his leadership. Jack goes up alone to try and finish off the beast, but he comes running down terrified, so Ralph and Roger go up to investigate. And in the darkness they both see the beast moving around in the dark, so all the boys run off the mountain to warn the boys about what they just saw.
All the boys are in uproar at the news of the beast, but Piggy is smart and doubts the beast exists. So Jack blows the conch and convinces the boys that the beast is real. He calls Ralph a coward and says he should be the leader. He tries to use the boys' fear in order to control them. They don't vote Ralph out, but don't vote Jack in either. So Jack leaves the group and storms off into the jungle. Ralph slips into a depression and becomes deeply troubled. Then Piggy says that they should build the signal fire there on the beach. This inspires Ralph, who believes they can be rescued once more. But as all the kids are making the new signal fire, some of the children desert Ralph and Piggy to go stay with Jack and hunt their days away. But it's okay. Piggy believes they are better without them anyway. Jack starts a new group of savages and they begin hunting. They find a pig who is resting with her baby, so Jack and his savages do only what they know and kill the only female sow on the island in a way that is most gruesome and bloody. Roger drives to stay right through the sow's anus and Jack was on top, finishing the job with the knife across its neck. This killing of the sow is supposed to conjure up images and scenery of a rape. It also shows the boys' final descent into savagery. For Jack and his savages, there is no going back. The savages leave her head as an offering to the beast. Then the hunters steal wood and invite Ralph's group to a feast. Ralph and Piggy decide that they will go. The idea of meat is too tempting to say no to. And right before Jack raided the beach, Simon slipped into the jungle out of the boys' reach, and he nested himself in his old familiar spot. And there he saw the impaled head of the sow, covered all around in buzzing flies. The head began to speak to him as the Lord of the Flies. The head said that it was amusing that all the boys tried to kill the beast, for the beast said the head was not an actual living thing, but something that lived inside all of them. And it said that Simon could never escape him and that he would have some fun with him. And all of this caused Simon to faint. Simon is Christ and Lord of the Flies was the devil, and these two could never coexist together on the island. Since Simon's all that's good and Lord of the Flies is all that's bad, one of them will have to meet their true demise.
Simon wakes up, frazzled. Blood from his nose, puke from his mouth. The beastie is a parachutist and Simon wants to prove it to the boys back home on the island. Ruff and Piggy do go and attend Jack's feast. Jack acts and lives like a king. With his face covered in paint, this represents Jack's true crossover from civilized to savage. And all the kids crossed over too, acting like animals, roasting pigs and doing tribe dances. Then Ralph points out that there is no shelters at Jack's camp. Everyone is in a dancing frenzy at this savage feast until they think they see a beast. Here he comes as they go attack, caught in the wildness, they all savagely kill the beast. Too bad for them that the beast was Simon. Now Simon's role as the Christ figure has come full circle as he meets his demise. And Simon is, of course, left to die by all the boys. Their evil, wildish ways finally caught up to them.
Unashamed of their behavior, Ralph and Piggy come to meet. All alone, just them, Sam, and Eric on that side of the beach. Everyone but Ralph denied aiding in Simon's murder, but Ralph gives in and admits that it was partially his fault. Now that Jack rules Castle Ralph, he rules with absolute authority, punishing people for no reason, but all of the boys believe Simon was the beast, capable of assuming any disguise. Jack said that they must continue to guard against the beast, for the beast never really truly dies. Jack then decides that Roger and Maurice must raid Ralph's tribe to steal and obtain Ralph's tribe's only fire. Ralph and his tribe begin to drift off to sleep, and once Ralph closes his eyes, he has nightmares. But Ralph is awoken from a deep sleep as Jack and his savages have come to steal Ralph's signal fire. Ralph, Piggy, and Sam and Eric too get into a scuffle with Roger and Maurice, who make off the beach with the signal fire. And more importantly, the glasses of Piggy, which are used to make the signal fire, and symbolically are used to keep Ralph's tribe intelligent.
Trying to light the fire with no success. Without Piggy's glasses, the group becomes a mess. Ralph brings the conch shell and its symbolic arrow to Jack's place. They stop by the guards to start throwing stones, but they never get hit because they know it's been Ralph that has protected them, so they still have respect for him. And somewhere deep within their savage minds lies the fundamental ideal of law and order. Ralph and Jack begin to fight like animals over Piggy's glasses and the signal fire. Is that really what it's about? Or has Jack turned Ralph into a savage? Jack captures Sam and Eric and ties them up together because even though they were two individuals, now they are just like one single person. Piggy tries to stop the brawl as Roger throws a rock and makes him fall. Piggy and the conch shell both get destroyed, and now along with the only symbolic source of intelligence, the only symbolic source of power becomes destroyed. So when the conch was shattered, so was any chance of the boys acting civilized. Then Ralph becomes forced to dodge the boys' spears and says it's time to get out of here, as Jack begins to torture Sam and Eric to come over to his dark and savage side.
Ralph was hiding in the jungle, thinking about how bad the group has become with the deaths of good Simon and Piggy. He sees the dead sow and takes the stage to attack Jack. Ralph goes to Castle Rock and sees Sam and Eric. They give him the info on Jack's plan, but don't let him in. They supply him with some food. Ralph sneaks in a thing to hide from Jack, and then he awakes to the smell of smoke. Runs for his life away from hunters because the whole jungle's on fire. He gets to the beach with his attackers close behind, and he looks right up, and guess what he finds? A naval officer there to rescue the boys. And all of this is meant to be quite ironic, because although Ralph was rescued because of a fire, it was not like the signal fire that was monitored and heavily controlled. It was a crazy wildfire meant to cause Ralph's utter demise. And this is also ironic because the officer seems to scorn all the boys for not being proper English children. How could they all become so savage? But meanwhile, all the other adults are doing just the same as the children did. Hunting and killing and acting quite savage. This officer is acting quite hypocritical. And after the officer finds out what has happened, he stands there disbelief. Ralph begins to break down into tears, but not tears of joy. These are tears of grief, as none of these boys will ever be the same after all this time, trapped on the island of the Lord of the Flies.
We'd all like to thank Miss Ritter, Mr. Godfrey. Shout out to you, me and Tyler. I'm Brandon Morgan, Tyler Palmieri. Yo, Lord of the Flies!